Hey everyone, I am sitting in the sun in the garage looking at my garden, and the topic of matriarchism came up. I always refer to myself as a matriarch in training. My maternal and my paternal grandmothers are both still living, and my mother is still here, so I come from some strong matriarchs. I also knew and spent time with and clearly remember one of my great grandmothers. And I was named after my other paternal great grandmother. So matriarch fundamentals literally flow through my veins, but I've also been able to watch firsthand. I've also been able to participate firsthand, shucking peas and snapping green beans on the living room floor of my maternal, I call her Momo, my Momo's floor, preparing food with my mother every Sunday, helping my mother. She is a registered nurse, and she goes and she used to do her rounds and her missionary work early in her nursing career. And so being around that type of energy has rubbed off on me by default. And my mother made sure to surround me with aunts that cared for me, that took care of me as their own, and also showed me different things about nurturing, about caring, about hygiene, about cleanliness, and cooking. And what I've learned is that matriarch of prior generations and matriarch of this current generation is going to look totally different than what it did back in the day. My mother is from rural Louisiana, and my grandmothers are both from rural Louisiana. And so my roots began there around Mississippi, Louisiana, maybe Alabama. I don't think Alabama. But I have family all around in the South. And so having that blend between Southern roots and then Northern ingenuity or technology or advancement, I would say, having that blend is important for me, specifically because technically I have the best of both worlds. And watching my mother in her womanhood and her marriage and her nursing career, and watching my grandmothers and their marriages losing their partners and life after and aftercare, I've observed so much in my former 40-something years. And, I've had my grandmothers my whole life, and I knew both of my grandfathers, but they passed when I was very young. But I'm aware of them. Like, I know them, I remember them. And my grandfather that I was the closest with, I was in my 20s when I lost him. So, we were tight. And just observing patriarchism and matriarchism and how it's changed over the years. I was telling someone, like, back in the day, we did family trees. And so my parents made me write all of our family members out, starting from my great grandparents. And, everything was equal. There was no, this person wasn't this person as far as the immediate lineage that I had, as far as my great uncle. But that was about it. And so it was very straight to the point. But the family trees of this era is going to look different. And I'm not saying yay or nay or whatever, but how are we going to improve matriarchism? How are we going to integrate the old and integrate the new? Because some things are outdated. We just don't do things the way we did, the way our grandmothers did. And I feel like I'm in that cusp of wanting to make sure we uphold traditions, but being open to incorporating new things so that we don't repeat most of the toxicity of the past. And it's not about getting rid of it, because you're going to always have, whatever you have positive family issues, you're going to have toxic family issues, because they both work at the same time. You can't get one without the other. But what we want to do is lessen the toxicity. And I'm grateful for my upbringing because I was taught how to nurture, taught how to love, taught how to give, taught how to be independent, but taught how to provide for myself, taught how to care for myself and make sure I'm not over giving. I am the firstborn daughter, but I'm also the lastborn daughter, but I'm also the baby girl. So there was a fine line of I didn't have too much responsibility growing up. There was a crazy nuance. So I had a different upbringing, and I think I'm at a point in my life where I'm glad about it, because sometimes you feel as if some of the things you just can't relate to because you never went through it. And it's not that that's a bad thing. It's just I don't have to downplay my parents' attempt at giving me the best life that they could and making sure that I had certain things, or I was exposed to certain things that would benefit me in the long run. And it takes courage to stand on that and say, dang, that's messed up, or just being there and not saying anything, because it's just not your story. And it's okay, because there's still a light to be shined. And is that shown? Illuminated. And everybody is made differently. Everybody is chosen to go through an experience that's not the same as other people. And when we understand that, to me, it broadens our awareness, it broadens our consciousness, it broadens the way that we think, because there's so many different bridges that we can take and that we can infuse to learn, to enhance, to improve, right? And when it comes to matriarchism, the matriarch is the glue of the family. When grandma dies, it's said that the family falls apart, or they don't get together anymore, or when grandma is here, they might complain about her being mean or being messy or different things, but we still love grandma. We give grandma, the matriarch, the pass, right? And we don't necessarily go back down through to see what grandma has endured. If she's been the caretaker, if she's been ignored, if she's been used up, if she hasn't really been considered, if there's a lot of things that grandma has endured and encountered and that she takes on the chin. And I think this generation's matriarch is speaking up for their feelings, is they're caring about themselves. They have actual self-care, which does not include being at someone else's beck and call as granny or as mama or things like that. And I had mentioned earlier about how I try not to ask my mom for too much, because one, I decided to bring my children into the world, and two, she deserves to only think about her in majority of her instances, because she's raised her children, she's helped with her grandchildren, she's been a wife, and lost her husband, and it's one of those things where she deserves a her. And I'm realizing, like, I deserve a me in my life early on, because when you give and make sure everybody else is straight, they live their lives, and they come and visit every now and then. And this is no shade. This is just what it is. This is just what happens, because when you go and you have to live your life, you have to find out what you want. But what we are not really understanding is the sacrifice that mothers make, the sacrifices that grandmothers made. Depending on which one you have, I'm not shaming or judging anyone. I'm just saying the sacrifice of even bringing a life into this world is one of the most painful and transformative experiences that any woman could have. You're going to experience some type of pain, unless you're, you don't, and you have a high tolerance. That's different, but it still takes a toll on the body and the mind and the womb and the heart. And if situations are not favorable, having to navigate those situations on top of bringing life into this world, and then if you're a grandmother, on top of having to take a responsibility because your offspring is not able to fulfill it, or they just need assistance because it takes a village, it's now a responsibility for you. And luckily, most grandmothers thrill at the opportunity to care for their grandchildren. I mean, I know if my grandmother lived around the corner from me, I know that she'll call for, my children to come by all the time. And, it's just, unfortunately, she's 1,000 miles away, but, we make it do what it do. So today, I just want to encourage you to look at the matriarchs in your life and see what they've sacrificed. And if you are a matriarch in training, what type of legacy do you want? Are you going to be a present grandmother? Are you going to be one that the whole family can depend on? And are you leading that pack with integrity, with emotional intelligence, with accountability, with discipline, with consistency? Are you leading by example for what you want the women in your family to be? And I'm not sure if we're asking this question enough, because everyone is just so angry and just so distracted and so involved in all of these things but themselves. So I hope that you have a great day, and I hope that you think about how you want to be remembered as the matriarch in the family, what example that you want to set. And I trust and pray that you incorporate human design, because I know the type of matriarch that I want to be. I want everybody's human design. I need to know what everybody is dealing with and how they were designed, so that we can structure a life according to that, and not just a programming or a performance that has been deemed by society, that I personally feel is coming to an end soon. But it's time that we do the research on our individuals that are in our family and see what we are working with, see what they're hiding or what they're embarrassed to say, and be vulnerable enough to cultivate that into something powerful for the bloodline. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this video. Make sure you add me as a friend on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, because my intentions are to uplift the collective. I am not here for drama or judgment or shaming. It's just, what are we going to do with what we have at this state of the world? Are we going to stick together, or are we not? And what energy are we going to put up with? Are we going to really be accountable for our own energy and the mess and the love that we bring to the situations and relationships? Or are we going to really be accountable, become more aware of who we are, and improve it, enhance it, so that once we're better, everyone around us will be better? Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.